Welcome to GripeCast with your host, Alex Hernandez. This show is dedicated to consumer technology news and pop culture. GripeCast is owned by Techaeris. Visit Techaeris.com for the latest tech reviews, news, entertainment, and pop culture. Now sit tight, the show's about to begin. All right, welcome to the least listened to podcast on the internet. This is GripeCast episode 18. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We have one podcast this week. I don't know if I'll do another one this week. It's been a busy week. I did a review video, an overview and unboxing video, and I just generally been busy with writing reviews. So I was a little bit pressed for time for podcasting this week, so possibly only one podcast this week, but we'll see how I feel tomorrow, and you know, time will tell. Anyway, we are back. It is Thursday, June 6th, so we are hanging out, and I have the place to myself. There's no one here, so I can be boisterous and just speak and do what I want. Not that I don't do that already, but anyway, interesting stuff going on in the world. Obviously, a lot of stuff in the political arena and everywhere else all around social media. Plenty of stuff happening. So, but what I wanted to talk about today is Adobe. We're going to jump into some Adobe stuff. And then we're going to touch on Google, too. I'm kind of wondering if I should start with Google and then move to Adobe. You know, you hear me talk about Google all the time. Well, let me start with Google, just because I want to make the Google portion short. I don't want to get drawn out with Google. I always do that, tend to get drawn out with Google. So I just saw a post last night from Carl Hendy on X, and it shows, it says, Google's vision of how ads will look and function in the Gemini search era. And it's just a commercial that Google put together, and we're going to play that commercial here. I don't know if it has sound. We're going to find out in a minute. For sure, let me see. I want to make sure I have audio capture on here, and we're capturing everything we need to capture here. For sure, you can watch it. If you're watching on YouTube or on Rumble or anywhere else that has video on X and MeWe, you'll be able to see this video. I'm going to hit the play button, and we're going to watch it together. And this is going to explain how, what Google's vision is, like Carl says, Google's vision of how ads will look and function in the Gemini search era. It's very interesting to me, and it should be very interesting to you. So let's hit it. This is when Google search evolved. Why is my pool green? Just the search query. How do I clean it? How do I give you an AI overview? Ads that answer. So it shows how the robot cleans the pool. Ads for discovery. There you are. That is their goal, people. More ads. They are integrating Gemini with their ad system, which we already knew that was going to happen. I've said it before. I knew this was going to happen. And people like Carl also called it out. So what you're going to get now are, Google's going to say that the results are relevant to you, but they're going to embed ads. You're going to be served the information that you're looking for, but in an ad form. So you no longer go to a site like mine where you're going to search for the information you're looking for, get the information that you want, and perhaps see some ads on that website. No. Now it's just going to be the full-on ad. It's not going to be a website where you get a review. It's going to be an ad that you're going to watch, and they're going to push you to purchase from whoever put that ad out. So that's the short of it. This is Google's vision of how ads will look, and how search is gonna. He should rephrase that. It shouldn't be how ads will look. It will be how search will look. When you search in the future here, as you do your searching, you'll be served all these AI ads, and they're going to have that the data you may be looking for, but they're going to package it in such a way that's going to be, it's marketing, ads, and PR, and they are going for all of the ad dollars now. So forget the ad share revenue. Forget sharing revenue with publishers, especially small publishers. No. They are going with big publishers. They are going to sign deals with the big publishers, and that's their goal. They're not, in their eyes, are not making enough. They are not making enough ad revenue, and they want more. So there you are. You tell me, how do you feel about that? How do you, if you're watching, if you're not watching, and if you have a chance, if you're just listening and you have a chance to head over to Rumble, YouTube, or X, or MeWe, and check out the video I put up with this podcast, check it out and tell me what you think of the ad. I'll link it below in the show notes as well. But really would like to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this path that Google's going to take with not only search, but with AI and with ads? It blew me away when I saw that, when I saw this post from Carl. So anyway, that's it for Google. I just wanted to play that for you guys and kind of give you a perspective there of what's happening with Google. You may or may not know. Let's move on to Adobe. Adobe. Oh, good old Adobe. You remember Flash Player. You remember all that. They want you to think Photoshop and Premiere Pro. That's what they want you to think, because those are the good apps. But they were crap back in the day, and Adobe PDF stuff is crap as well. But they are in a pickle right now. They're in some hot water. So here it says, Adobe finds itself under fire for its recent spyware-esque terms of service update, which forces Photoshop and Substance 3D users to provide the company unlimited access to their projects. Yes, I dumped Adobe years ago now. I can't even remember how many years ago. But when they went to subscription, I had a subscription for, it wasn't that long, maybe a year. I had the subscription, but I was really tired of paying a monthly fee for software I didn't own. So I switched over to Affinity Photo, Serif Affinity Photo. I use Affinity Photo for a Photoshop replacement. I use Affinity Designer for a Adobe Illustrator replacement, though I don't do Illustrator. I don't do Designer that often. And then I also have Affinity InDesign for the other Adobe. I can't remember the name of that product that they use. I don't really use that one either. I just bought the package, so they're all three in there. And then I use DaVinci Resolve for a Premiere Pro replacement, and that's what I use to edit these videos is DaVinci Resolve. All that software, and then On1 Raw is my Lightroom replacement. Now On1 Raw, DaVinci Resolve, and all of the Serif Affinity apps are all on your PC or your Mac. They are software that you have that you don't subscribe to it. You pay one time, and then you get the software as it should be. You get updates, and the updates will come as that software is updated, when they decide to go to a new version that's like with more features, like let's say I think we're on like DaVinci, we're on DaVinci 17 or maybe 18.12 or something like that. I can't remember the version we're on, but whatever version we're on, if DaVinci Blackmagic decides to change and go to and redesign the entire thing and put more robust features into the newest one, say it's called DaVinci Resolve 19, you'll have to probably pay an upgrade fee for that, which is acceptable for a good amount of extra features. Yeah, that's fine. But they continue to support the old software as well. So it's not like Adobe where you have to pay a subscription fee. You don't own the software, and everything's in the cloud now with Adobe, all of their suite. So let's jump over to this article here on 80, I think it's called 80LV. I've never heard of this site before, but this is where these guys were pointing to. So 80 level. Let's see here. Okay, I already read that. Adobe finds itself under fire. All right, and then we have some tweets here. It says we are not accessing. Okay, that's from, I don't know who this is here. It looks like we'll have to look at that in a second, but I can't pronounce his name. It looks like Jeremiah Noguer, Substance 3D ecosystem product designer, commented on the situation, saying that Adobe is not accessing or reading Substance users' projects in any way, shape, or form, nor are we planning to have any. So let me run back to Twitter here. All right, so Grums. This is where I originally got everything from, was Grums on X. So summary of the rights of Adobe is asserting. Okay, so let me backtrack here. I'm jumping around so much here. I don't want to confuse you guys. Let me find my initial landing on this whole entire subject. Oh man, I lost it. So there's a production company that was working on a film, and they posted on X, which I can't find that. I thought I had bookmarked it, but I can't find it now. Anyway, they posted on X that they were working on a project, and in the middle of working on it, they had a pop-up that said they had to accept new terms and services before they could continue on working in Adobe Premiere. And so they had to go and read the terms and conditions, and they discovered what Grums here talks about, which we'll read through in a second. So basically, they stopped their entire workflow and wouldn't allow them to continue their workflow until they agreed to the new terms and conditions. And that really pissed them off, and that would make me mad too as well. So what they read is what Grums puts here on his post, which again, everything will be in the show notes on the links. Grums says the summary of rights Adobe is asserting over your work. So 1, they can review it for content moderation. So anything that you're working on with their Adobe apps in your own private computer, they can review it for content moderation. So you can be making it for personal use, and they can still review it and see it and do what they can moderate it however they want, which is mind-blowing. Number 2, they can manually review it human. So sounds like the first step is going to be AI, kind of scanning things. And what else do they have access to? If they have access to your apps on your computer, what else and deeper in your system do they have access to? So they can manually review it through humans. Number 3, they can publish or give it away for free. So they can take your creative projects and do what they want to do with them. They can publish it and they can give it away for free. So you can be making a movie like the studio. They can make an entire movie. And if Adobe sees it and then they say, hey, we're going to use that, their new terms and conditions allow them to do that. They can sell it to third parties and sublicense it. There you go. That is not your content now. Anything you're creating with Adobe Creative Cloud is not your property. You have no license to it. They can and will use it to train their AI. Haven't we heard that before? Yes, Google and OpenAI, the worst, just leeching off of the creative community. These tech bros and AI bros are leeching off the creative community, and it's got to stop. You can't fully opt out of it, even if files are local, content-aware fill, and other non-specific tools. And then he says, cancel Creative Cloud today. And then somebody, Chris Loesch, responds, can they see your secret legal documents in Adobe Acrobat? And Grums responds, yes. If you store your documents in their cloud, if you use certain tools, they only list one tool of Photoshop content aware fill, but of course they leave it open-ended. Any current or future AI tool likely requires uploading to their servers of processing. And so basically, Grums is saying, yeah, anything you store on the cloud, they can see. It doesn't matter what it is. So Grums goes on with another post. He says, so the Adobe thing is really bad for indie game devs, bad for all gamer devs. It's also bad for photographers and content creators who use Premiere to edit their videos. They can spy on your art, review it, sell it, or sublicense it for use by others. They can promote their software with it, give it away for free if they want. Even if you normally depend on what you create to earn your income, they don't care. If you use any tool that needs to touch Adobe servers for processing, Adobe claims they own a license to it, even if those files are local to your computer, and even if you opt out. Which tool triggers this clause and allows them to touch your local files? They don't say. They give one example, content-aware fill, and that means any tool is up for grabs later if they decide. Adobe dropped the terms, we will vote with our wallets and cancel Creative Cloud. So Grums is really, he's really one to look at on X if you want to follow along this story. Niche Gamer. Let's see what it is. Let's go over Niche Gamer and see what he's got. Photoshop terms of service grants Adobe access to user projects for content moderation. Photoshop's newest terms of service has users agree to allow Adobe access to their active projects for the purpose of content moderation and other various reasons. This has caused concern among professionals, as it means Adobe would have access to projects under NDA, such as logos for unannounced games or other media projects. Sam Santella, the founder of Songhorn Studios, noted the language of the terms on Twitter, calling out the company's overreach. And he says, so am I reading this right? This is a post from Sam Santella. So am I reading this right? Adobe Photoshop? I can't use Photoshop unless I'm okay with having full access to anything I create, including NDA work. So you sign a non-disclosure agreement with a company because you're doing work for them, and so Adobe's new terms and conditions allow them to use that. They are not under an NDA. You are. But who's going to get blamed if that stuff gets out? So tech companies are increasingly eager to supervise and spy on their users. Recently, Microsoft announced an AI product called Recall, and we talked about that. Recall scans the screens of users, allowing them to search their past activity in common terms. The user agreement also leaves open the possibility to train AI using user-generated content, saying they can use the content they retrieve to improve our service and software. So there you go. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. And I don't know, Wetter Schneider here posts on X. Here it is. If you're a professional, if you're under NDA with your clients, if you're a creative, a lawyer, a doctor, or anyone who works with proprietary files, it's time to cancel Adobe. Delete all the apps and programs. Adobe cannot be trusted. And then he screenshots the updated terms of use. And here's where you got to accept and continue. And this pop-up apparently was coming up on when users were actually doing work during their workflow, and it would not let them click away from it. You had to accept and continue, read the terms of use, or you just couldn't continue working. And here it says, the bullet points say, clarified that we may access your content through both automated and manual methods, such as for content review. So I don't understand why Adobe needs to do any kind of content moderation or content review of projects that you're working on professionally or personally. It's none of their business. But obviously, they're making it their business. Yeah, I mean, I don't use Adobe apps anymore. I ditched them years ago. Thank God for that. So if you're using Adobe apps, let me know. Let me know what you think. Here we go. Warcraft movie. This is the one that I was looking at. Okay, the director of the Warcraft movie points out Adobe has no right to demand rights to the work they create for their films. Adobe is locking out Photoshop accounts until you agree to the new terms of service, which give Adobe rights and access to everything you create. And I don't know why the post is unavailable. Maybe they deleted it. I don't know what happened there. Let's see, what else does he have here? Let's see here. We're going through Grum's posts here. He had quite a bit of stuff. The Adobe controversy gets even worse. Adobe says they own what you make. It's not just a privacy issue. If you use Adobe software to create works, Adobe claims to have a license to everything you make to use as they see fit. They can even sell it to someone else if they wish, which is called sublicensing. And he screenshots says, this is 4.2, section 4.2 of the terms and service or conditions. It says licenses to your content solely for the purpose of operating or improving the services. Now it says solely for the purposes of operating or improving the services and software. You grant us a non-exclusive, worldwide, royalty-free, sub-licensable license to use, reproduce, publicly display, distribute, modify, create, that word I can't pronounce. Derivative works. That's what it is. Derivative. Excuse me. I'm talking really fast, so my mouth and my brain didn't quite mesh there. So it's create derivative works based on, publicly perform, and translate the content. For example, we may sublicense our right to the content to our service providers or to other users to allow the service and software to operate as intended, such as enabling you to share photos with others. Separately, section 4.6 below covers any feedback that you provide to us. So that's it. You don't own squat, pleb. You own nothing. So you might as well quit creating. Quit creating. Quit trying to be creative. Let AI do all the work. Go home. Eat McDonald's. Get fat. Don't worry about the rest. AI's got it covered. Right? So there it is. I don't know. Guys, I don't use Adobe apps anymore. I'm grateful for that. I don't know if you guys do. If you do, please comment below. Comment. Tell me what you think of this whole Adobe situation. Are you using Adobe? Are you going to cancel your subscription? What are your plans? I mean, what are you going to jump to? Final Cut Pro for video, DaVinci Resolve for video, Affinity Photo for Photoshop. What are you going to do? The choices. I mean, when you get to a point where Adobe is, a lot of people have a hard time switching away from that ecosystem because they're so ingrained in it. They have a workflow. And for those of you who do not use creative apps like we do, you develop a system when you're creating content. Because initially when I started this podcast, I've been through, I don't know, you go back and watch the first couple episodes of GripeCast and you'll see different overlays and different stuff and different ways I was doing things. And I'm still not 100% lined up where I want to be. I have a workflow going, but it's getting modified. But after a while, I'll start settling in more. I'm probably about 75% settled in, and I can pretty much get these podcasts recorded and edited and all pushed out in a matter of 3 to 4 or 5 hours. When I first did my first few, it took 10, 12 hours to do because I was putzing around with all sorts of stuff trying to figure things out. But my point is, I digress. So my point is, when creatives get into a workflow and they use apps that they're used to and where they know where everything is and all the tools that they need are there, it's very hard to move away from that. It's very hard. And Adobe knows this. They know it, guys. They know it. And they're going to use that to keep you in that ecosystem. But you're not going to own your stuff, guys, unless they change it. And the only way to do that is to, put pressure on them. So you guys have to be the ones to do that. I feel for you. I feel for the creative community having to deal with this with Adobe. And, to be honest with you, Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer and Affinity Publisher, they may go the same route. Right now they're not subscription-based, but Canva just purchased them. And, we wrote about that not too long ago. And that's might not be a good thing. Canva they could switch the whole thing to subscription, and we're just as screwed that way. And, that's just the way it is. I mean, look at, you do subscriptions for Xbox and subscriptions for PlayStation. You don't own those games. You don't own those games. You don't have a physical game. You stream everything, and you're renting them. It's a permanent rental. That's what it is. And unfortunately, I think a lot of things are going that way right now. You'll own nothing. Isn't that the big thing right now? You'll own nothing and eat the bugs. So I think I'm going to go eat some bugs. Not going to do that. But I am definitely going to sign off for this podcast. I just wanted to talk about those two things, a little bit about Google there, and definitely about this Adobe thing. It's really irritating, though. I don't use the software. Very irritating, and I feel for everyone that's using it that has to deal with this. So I hope you guys have a great Thursday. Hope you guys have had a great week. Weekend's coming up. I hope you guys are taking time to just spend time with your families, spend time with people that matter, and not so much time on the internet, not so much time on the social medias, because that can get exhausting. Trust me, I know. So please like, share, comment, subscribe on X. If you're not following me on X, please follow me on X. Make sure you turn on notifications. We're still here on YouTube. We're still here on Rumble. We're on MeWe. We're on all the platforms. The only one we're not on is TikTok. We have an account, but we don't post much there. But, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things that help us. You guys are our search engine. I like to say that now. We don't rely on Google anymore. We rely on you. You guys are our grassroots search engine. You're the guys and gals that are going to continue to help us to grow and to rebuild and get ourselves back on track. So I appreciate you very much. I appreciate everybody. Please be blessed. Take care of each other. Take care of your families. And we will talk to you on the other side.